Hi, welcome to I Have a Dream Show. I'm your host, Princess Fierce. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to see that you've made a decision to click the link and join the show today. Those that are new, what I do, it's a web TV online where I interview entrepreneurs from around the world. They're usually from the network marketing home business niche. And what they do is they share their story with you, exactly how they got started, what their circumstances were when they were being brought up and what kind of society they were in, and how things change for them in a matter of decision making. So it's to highlight that. And I have a dream show. I am double. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Is that okay? Oh, good. Okay, so guys, if you are being invited here by Empower Network affiliate, in that case, what you need to do is, if you join the program, there's a button underneath. If you're on my website, you can join the program by clicking that. It opens up in a new window. Fill out your details, activate your account, and go back to your sponsor that's actually referred you to the show. What they will do is they'll give you the Get Started guide and advise you exactly what you need to do to get started. And I'm sure they've got lots of perks and things to offer you for becoming a member of Empower Network. Today's show, anytime we speak of income, guys, please do refer to the income disclaimer, because the people on the show are not average. Their income obviously varies according to their effort and how they take this business, if they take it seriously. So you'll see from the guests I have today exactly what kind of mindset it takes and what kind of activities they do to make a successful business online. So please do refer to the income disclaimer for average income. The show is sponsored by Justin Verengier's Facebook PPC traffic course. You can actually register just by clicking the link underneath for a free workshop, and I tell you, that is an amazing, amazing course. I'm actually on it now, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. So it's highly recommended you join for free workshop. Excellent. So let's get on with the show. Throughout the show, I'll bring on my guest. They share their journey, but after the show, there's an exclusive 15 to 20 minutes with my guest where they actually give secrets of how they actually became successful online, what strategies they're using. It's exclusive to members for those people that actually kind of commit to making this work. And if you feel like throughout any time of the show that you want to join this program that we're promoting, which is Empower Network, just click on the link and activate your account, and then you will be invited by email for the special link. So let's get on with the show. Wow, it's been absolutely amazing. I've been following my guest for a while now, and he's very young. I mean, he's living his dreams. He's traveling. He's got to share a story today to inspire you to do exactly what he's doing by following his footsteps. Please welcome Brian Couch, coming in live from America. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining the show.
Hi, Princess. What's going on? How you doing? Thank you very, very much. It's an honor to be here. It's I'm just excited. My name is Brian Couch, and I kind of got started a little bit ago. We met in Charlotte, right?
We did actually meet in Charlotte, and it's a privilege to kind of meet you, because the activities you've done, I mean, the results you've had are absolutely amazing. But please forgive me if I do interrupt you while you talk. I have to ask for forgiveness beforehand, because I do kind of dip into what you're saying. But if you can kind of share your background, Brian, if we go back to your childhood, what kind of parents did you have? What was your social setting? If you can kind of just take us back.
Sure. So, all the way back, I used to love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and bike riding. My mom actually, she was an entrepreneur, kind of, right? I mean, she started up her own traditional business. She was a veterinarian for a while, but then she wanted to start her own business and not do that thing anymore, so she became a dog groomer. And this is absolutely not something that I've ever really shared on a Hangout before. This is cool. But yeah, she was a dog groomer, and she tried to groom dogs, and she tested having different things. She tried to open up a second location, and that just crumbled to the ground. And she tried to hire more employees, and that didn't really work out. She found it worked best with just her and one other loyal worker going at it grooming dogs. And she always advised me against becoming an entrepreneur, because she said it was just too much work and it wasn't worth it. Right. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Because my dad also, he kind of went off on his own, right? He worked for he's got a civil engineering degree from Texas A&M University. That's where I went as well, and I got my computer science degree and my business degree from there.
Right.
But he went out and he he didn't want to work for the boss anymore, and so he started his own. He became an independent contractor, and people would hire him to go and check out, if their doors are cracking, or the doors aren't closing, or there's cracks in the walls and stuff like that. He would go and check it out, and somebody else would level the house, and he would put a stamp of approval saying, this is safe.
Right.
So for me, coming up, I had my parents got divorced when I was, I think I was 0. I'm not really sure how I think maybe me being born kind of pulled that apart, but I don't really know how that worked very well. But anyway, so I was kind of back and forth between the two, and we were middle class, average middle class. Didn't really have. I know that one thing that I always wanted growing up, and I never had it, but a lot of my friends did, was cable television. I still had the normal, the 6 channels, and I only really liked one, and then sometimes 2 of them. Growing up, so it wasn't like I was given everything at birth. In fact, I was discouraged from doing anything other than getting a job by my mom, who's where I spent most of my time with. I grew up mostly with my mom, and so fast forward a little bit, I go to college because that's just what was expected of me, right? It was kind of, I don't know, it was always assumed like that's what it would be for me, that I would go to college and I would go to the same one that my dad went to, because there's kind of a tradition in that. And when I got there, I quickly realized that this was a whole lot of fun, having this level of freedom that I'd never had before. That was kind of the first taste of freedom, and I didn't realize until much later after college, when I started working with Empower Network, the next level of freedom that I could actually get to. But I'll get to that in a second.
Excellent. Yeah, just kind of tapping into what you're saying, Brian. So with your mum being an entrepreneur and actually doing an offline business, I don't know what that, obviously the online marketing has come about in the last 5-10 years or so, right? So seeing her working, did you find that she was working very, very hard, like long hours? And did she kind of say to you, look, I don't really want you to follow this path. I'd rather you get the education and get the job security, go down that route. Did you have a kind of, did she influence you in that way at all?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And for the internet marketing part, that really actually started September 2012.
Right.
So I wouldn't say 5 years or anything, but yeah, absolutely. She loves what she does. So it's not really work to her, it's also a hobby. And so she runs 2 businesses, really. One of them's not really a traditional business of sorts, but yeah, she would just work really, really long hours all the time, grooming dogs. And when she got off work, her other hobby was shopping. And so she would go and she would buy a whole bunch of stuff. And she loved, like, the kind of person that loves a good deal. And so it was always hard this was something that I had a belief that I had to get over. It was always hard for me to kind of spend money on stuff because, I had grown up with this belief that you got to kind of hold on your money tightly, and everything that you buy has to be not just a good deal, but like a great deal, right? And that was something that kind of held me back a bit to kind of get over that. But anyway, she buys seasonal merchandise like Halloween or Christmas decorations. After the holiday, they'll be 50% off, 70% off, 90% off, and she'd go around to all the stores in the area, and sometimes she'd even travel pretty far to get to a different store and go and buy up all the seasonal merchandise and then store it in a warehouse for a year and sell it cheaper than the stores sell it a year later, but still make a profit. That was a very, very, very long drawn-out process, but she loved doing it. And so she worked all day and night, and she's got this, I don't even actually know what it's called, some kind of thyroid thing, but she really only sleeps like 2 hours a night. Legitimately, since she was 17, she only slept like 2 hours a night, always. She takes like a small nap at 8:30 for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and then she's up again until about 3 in the morning or so, and then she's waking up at 5 every single day. And so that was, I was like, man, yeah, okay, I can see why she doesn't want me to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. You got to work 20 hours a day.
That kind of instill in your mind then. I mean, as a child, children are clever. They kind of pick up these things, activities, maybe parents kind of working these long hours. Didn't you feel that this wasn't something that was for you? Was it instilled inside you that it's just too much effort?
I didn't even think about it at all. I mean, honestly, as a kid, I was just like, okay, that's what my mom does. That's not what I want to do. I never really knew what I wanted to do. Was the other thing. I mean, I know when I was really, really young, I wanted to be a scientist. I didn't really know what that meant. I think I just wanted to wear a coat and like mix cool little vials of stuff and make potions. But when I started growing up a bit, I knew that I didn't want to work at a pizza restaurant when I was 16, because I did that, and that sucked. And, and I knew that, I didn't want to do I didn't want to work with animals, because my mom had always had, she would have people that would leave their dog, and, she would have to take them home, and then we had these dogs that, sometimes were cool, and that was a lot of fun, but then sometimes weren't, and it was a big hassle, and they kind of messed stuff up sometimes. And so I was like, okay, well, I know what I don't want to do. And I knew that I didn't want to become a civil engineer, because what my dad did looked kind of boring. So when I went to college, I was a general studies, right? I didn't have a major defined until it was halfway through my junior year, when like the counselor calls me into at Texas A&M, and they're like, hey, Brian, you can't graduate without a chosen major, right? You have to pick something. We can't just give you a degree for nothing here.
Right.
Yeah, all right. I guess I'm okay at computers. I'm better than my family. My grandpa gave me a computer when I was 13.
Right.
No instruction manual or anything. I just kind of clicked around at stuff. And so that's actually the advice I give when people are trying to learn a new program. Just kind of click around a bunch. You're not going to break it. But anyway.
Be brave.
I go in there, and I was like, well, yeah, sure, all right. Well, I guess with a computer science degree and a business degree, I can kind of do whatever I want, right? Because at this point, I still hadn't really figured out what I wanted. And so that was just a recipe for disaster. I mean, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get it, right? You're not going to. I was hoping something that would just come up and I would like it. And so after I graduated, I had 2 jobs. There were 2, I guess they were careers, right? And I got laid off from both of them. But because I guess.
So you have experienced working for someone. You've experienced the job, right?
Mm-hmm. I have experience. Where I worked right out of college, I worked for a what's it called? Electrical engineering company here in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I worked for this electrical engineering company, and I went around and I helped them set up some custom system for tracking all of their tools. They had like $500,000 worth of this equipment, and I helped them set up a system to track it. And then I wasn't really that useful to them much longer, and when the company started taking a hit, I was, I'd only been there for a little over a year. So they're like, all right, well, we're laying off 10% of the company, and you're a part of that. And I was like, all right. At this point, I had kind of plugged in a little bit to the Empower Network training. I was listening to a little bit of Inner Circle when this happened.
How did you come across Empower? Because if you're at a job, did you come home and look for things? I mean, were you looking for something at that time? Were you looking for an alternative method?
So I guess I'll rewind a little bit further back then. Before I got this job, I was still in college. My dad introduced me to network marketing. My dad he's been in and out of network marketing companies for, I don't know, 15 years or something, right? And so he introduced me to network marketing, and I said, okay, this is way better than, this is actually something that I want. Look at that, I could just kind of, and I was thinking of it like a lottery ticket, right? Like, all right, this is something that I can just get started in, and a bunch of money is going to come out of nowhere, and I'll have to work a little bit, but at least it's not going to be 40 hours a week, right? And so that, obviously, with that mindset, didn't work, right? You can't just expect something for nothing. But that's kind of what I had thought. And in fact, I was given it for nothing. My dad said, you'll be my partner in this business, and I'll pay the overhead. I'll pay the startup fee. I'll get started for $1,500 or $1,500, and I'll pay the monthly. I think it was like $200 a month or something like that. And he was covering all that. And so I think the expression is no value given, no value received. If you get something for nothing, you don't really respect it, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
I didn't give up anything. I didn't really sacrifice. I didn't mean if I could quit, and in fact I did, and there was no harm, no foul. It's not. I didn't even lose a penny.
No loss, basically. Yes, you don't feel.
Yeah, I introduced it to some people, and nobody wanted to get started, and I was like, okay, well then this isn't for me so much either. So I'd been interested in that, and when I got started with network marketing, I was looking onto the internet, like, all right, well I got this computer science degree, maybe that'll help. Turns out it didn't. I just tend to over technical. I try to get things too technical, and it doesn't work quickly. I had always focused on the how to do stuff and not so much on the mindset part, and that also held me back too. But I can talk more about that in a little bit. So I started looking around on the internet for ways to get on things. I ended up on a few people's email lists, and Ultimately I quit.
What did you type into the Google bar? How to make money online? What did you type?
No. I was in a network marketing company, so I was looking for like how to build a network marketing company online, how to generate leads online, that type of deal. And I ended up on this guy's list named Mark Barrett, and I was like, all right, this isn't for me, and I don't think anything of it. And a bunch of time passes by, and then when Empower launched, I bought the blog in the Inner Circle.
Okay.
So that was back in, I guess that was like October 2011. At this point, I'm still dabbling.
What about the blog? I mean, why did that appeal to you?
Yeah, I don't even know that it really appealed to me. I think I just saw again, like, you could join and get money. And I was like, all right, yeah. So I went in, and I'm not going to, so I got the blog, and I was like, all right, that makes a lot of sense. That I can create content that'll rank at the top. And, it's not just me, because coming from network marketing background, I'd want to leverage other people's efforts. I want to help them get started, help them start making some money so that I can, I can move on to the next one, and they can keep making money, and they'll give me, a percentage of it. Here in Empower, over the lifetime of someone's business, when somebody on my team gets started and they start making some money, I get about 20% of it over the lifetime of their business. It starts out a little bit more than that and wheels down to about 20%. And so I like that. I like the idea of leverage, of creating passive leverage residual income. And so when I saw the blog, I was like, okay, this is something that, I can create something that's just going to be up there. People are constantly searching it. People are constantly coming across it. They're finding it, and it tells them exactly what they want. And then while they're there, like a television, right? You see what you want, and then there's commercials. You got ads, and some people will click on the ads. And when they click on the ads and decide to join, I make some money. I'm like, all right, cool. That is something that I can do. And actually, I think my first blog post ever, they started like right around like Halloween, right? So my first blog post ever, I had gotten to it around Thanksgiving time, finally. I got around to making my first blog post, and I took a Wikipedia entry of Thanksgiving and just kind of redid it all myself. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get this one up on the first page. A lot of people are looking for stuff about Thanksgiving, and for some reason, I don't know. I guess I just built this imaginary bridge of how that was going to work perfectly for me to start getting some money in Empower Network. And so, needless to say, that didn't work very well. But luckily, I did plug into those Inner Circle audios. And I think, honestly, that right there was really what shifted me from this, like, always wanting something for nothing mindset to realizing that I can have exactly what I want as soon as I decide to go for it, as soon as I decide to actually work for it and make it happen. And I completely 100% owe that to those Inner Circle audios. And those, I guess, circling way back around, that's what I was listening to that first job that I had.
Excellent. Just for the audience, if you don't know what the Inner Circle is or what the hell we're talking about, Empower Network comes with a set of products. The basic is the blog platform that you get access to straight away for $25, and then you get the Inner Circle is the next product, then you've got Costa Rica, then you've got 15K formula, which is very, very popular, and then you've got a master's course. And there's other products as well, but these are the main ones that you join to go all in, that we probably will talk about throughout the show. You'll hear this all in stuff and Inner Circle and all that throughout the show. So sorry, Brian, so one quick question, Brian. This is what really intrigues me. When you're actually searching for something online, the responses that you get, the results that you get, right, is it content based only? I mean, how are these people marketing? What appealed to you? What is it that you thought, okay, I need to actually leave my email address here and find out more? Is there any few things that kind of come to your mind that appeal to you at that point?
Yeah, well, I had, I mentioned I originally found this whole make money online thing to be real schemy, and I was like, that stuff doesn't work.
Right.
That's what I was thinking at first. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. People don't make money. I mean, obviously, now I realize that we're transitioning out of the industrial age into the information age, and of course, the majority of the money is going to be made on the internet here shortly. But at the time, I thought, okay, what is this stuff? This is crap. This shit isn't going to work. I had still opted in. I was like, all right, whatever. I give them I had my regular email address, and then I had this junk one that I would opt in with. But I would still get these emails, and people understood good copywriting, stuff that we teach in the 15K formula. And so sometimes I'd go over there, like, oh, that's interesting. And I'd click on the thing, and over time, getting more and more exposed to it, I start to realize that, okay, this is legitimate, right? Like, there are people out here working, and they're marketing, and they're using real valuable skill, and they're providing actual service, right? They're providing actual value to their customers, more than what they're asking for in money. And so that was that. It just started to kind of wear on me a bit, right? So and this actually, I actually had a guy join me who had been on my list for a year. And that kind of thing, it happens. People, maybe they aren't ready to join right away. Maybe they don't want to get started now. They just kind of want to opt in and read some emails for a while until they finally feel like they're ready. And, circling back to what I was saying earlier, this absolutely kind of makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because people, they think that change takes forever, but really just getting ready to change takes forever. The change happens in an instant. This can happen very, very quickly. But your brain is what gets in the way, and that was something that I resisted forever. Coming from a technical background, I always wanted to know the how-to, the specifics, the exactly. I want to click here and do that and there, and I was hoping that if I click here and do that, and I treat it like a job, right, where I got a boss telling me exactly what I need to do every single time, then it's just going to work, and a bunch of free money is going to fall from the sky, and it doesn't really work that way at all. And I learned that when I built up this bulletproof entrepreneur mindset from listening to those I guess I didn't really explain the autos, right? So it's a collection of 6- and 7-figure interviews, and so it gave me the ability for my brain to actually hear knowledge from somebody other than who I grew up around or who I happen to be working in an office with. The kind of people that they complain every day that it's Monday. They get kind of excited on hump day on Wednesday, right? The week's almost over. And Friday's that's the good day. All right, it's the weekend. Can't wait to get out of here. Like their whole, my whole 40, 50-hour week was all just like, come on, it's almost over, until it was over. And I'm like, all right, freedom for 2 days, right? And that was the people that I was around. Well, listening to these Inner Circle audios gave me a way to hear of another way of living, that it was possible for somebody to have a life of freedom, where they can travel around and make money in a way that, I guess, leveraging technology, leveraging tools that are out there. And that's exactly what I do with the blog, and not just the blog, but content marketing with videos. I create stuff that people find in the search engines, and people are constantly searching for it. There's probably 12 people watching a video other than me on this one. On average, there's 12 other people watching my videos right now. And that was something that I had learned here at Empower Network of what to do, how to make that possible. And while these people are watching these videos, some of them are deciding to join. Some of them are getting started and they're upgrading. Some of them are buying all the products. Some of them are going all in. And actually, that happened to me 2 days ago. I woke up 6:45 in the morning, and I had a $2,000 commission in my inbox.
That's brilliant. Do you know what? You've touched on a really amazing point there, Brian, because I did a blog post on this recently where at a job, you will not get paid until you're present, right? You have to be present to accumulate that time that you're giving in exchange for money. But when it comes to internet marketing, you can actually just make one effort of making a video or a blog post and leverage from that over and over and over. So one-time effort in the past can pay you over and over for the future. So I think that's a really, really amazing point that you've made there, Brian.
Yeah, I actually have, and I want to give an income disclaimer, because I want to tell you about the money I'm making here. But below this video, I'm sure you have an income disclaimer that you can click on to see the average results. You mentioned it earlier, but there is one specific video. It was about 6 minutes long, and so it took me about 6 minutes to make. I uploaded it to the internet, put the little tags, and followed my little secret ninja strategy that that I'll share for the people that click on the button and decide to join. I'll share that in the other thing later. More about that later. But I did that. It took about 10 minutes total. Put that up on the internet, and the way that I work, it takes time for these things to work. I put a video up, and it's not just instant traffic overnight. It took, I didn't make any money the first month. I didn't make any money the second month. Halfway through the third month, so 2.5 months later, after I spent 10 minutes creating this video, I make a sale. I make a sale from the video because it's up there. It's starting to get some traffic. It's getting traction. People are commenting. People are liking. People are sharing. And people are clicking on the links below my videos and getting started. And so fast forward from there to now, and that one single video has made me upwards of $30,000.
Excellent.
Yeah, now, to be fair, that was when I was, because my story's been, I've been going back and forth like a Tarantino movie here.
Yeah, that's what I love.
It's super early in the morning, and I don't normally take caffeine, so I may be like a little bit crazy right now. It's only 8:30 here, but maybe I don't normally wake up too early. But anyway, I'm kind of a night owl. So when I was working my other job, my whole goal with Empower Network, when I actually went to the event in San Diego, got all in, and started working, was to replace that income, was to get out of that job. And the way that I made that possible, knowing my strengths and knowing my weaknesses, knowing that I'm real distractible, that I can go off and I'll go and do something else for a while, even though I said I would do this, wasn't really the best at commitment. Those inner circle audios kept me plugged in. It kept me hearing what I needed to hear so that I could stay on course and actually achieve what I was going for. But anyway, when I got out, when I got free by May 31st, that was the second time I was laid off, I was making enough money with Empower Network that I said, okay, I'm full time now. Let's get to work. Let's make this happen. And so I got the ball really, really rolling. That was really cool. And I went to another event. And this event was one put on by my team. It was one in Las Vegas. It wasn't specifically Empower Network, but I knew that getting to the events was important. Not only just listening to 6- and 7-figure earners in my ear, which I did every morning and on my lunch break, but also associating with them, hanging out with them. And while I was there, I was about to fly back to Dallas. One of my buddies says, hey, I'm going to San Diego. Do you want to come with? And San Diego kind of has a special place in my heart because that was my first Empower Network event. That's when I truly kind of transformed by getting to that event. Right. But so when he asked me that, I said, you know what? I've never really had the level of freedom that on a whim I can just ditch my plane ticket back home and go to a completely different state. I ended up staying there for a month and a half. And while I was there, I probably made 30 or 50 videos. But one of them specifically was the one I told you the story about earlier. It took me about 6 minutes, right? All the other ones, a couple of them I made a little bit of money. Most of them I didn't really make any money at all. But that one video really, really took off. And now I have several videos. I say now, I had some before as well. But several videos that make me money. They're out there just working for me all the time. I think my buddy Eli called them little iBryans, little iRobots. Little digital copies of myself out there on the internet just working for me. And so that was, I mentioned earlier, I love being able to leverage other people's time in a business like this, in a business like network marketing. Well, now I get to leverage my own time as well and duplicate my own efforts by doing the work once right and doing it good, not just whipping up some copy of a Wikipedia article about turkey on Thanksgiving, but actually bringing some value to the marketplace and helping people and creating something that, when somebody goes and they search and they have a problem, and they see my video and I deliver a solution to them and I help them, then they're like, oh, cool, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm going to listen to what he says. And when I tell them to click on the link below the video and get started, then they click on the link below and they get started. And because it's a they see that I give value to them, that I'm helping them, that I have their best interests in mind, then they want to learn more from me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely does. Absolutely amazing. And Brian, if you can give us a link to your exclusive video that's made you a lot of money that we can actually share with our inner circle. So guys, to get access to anything that Brian's offering or any extra tips, we're going to have a 15 minutes after the show where you have to click the link below and activate your account, and there will be an email sent to you where it will be a link sent out to you automatically where you can join. But that's for exclusive members, guys, because you've made a commitment, right? You made a commitment to join. You want to do this, and we honor that. So we work very, very closely. And the people that are affiliates, that have invited by affiliates, what I can say is, I will probably coordinate with them as well, but I'm sure they've got lots of perks and things to offer you as new members as well. So do go back to your sponsor and ask them exactly what they've got for you to get started. But Brian, so I mean, it's amazing, this industry. Why did you choose video? What's the power of video, Brian, in your eyes? And where's it going? How's the future of video looking?
So initially, I chose video because Google changed their algorithm and my blog stopped working. I was getting a lot of people seeing my blog. I was getting a whole bunch of traffic to my blog. And using one of the lessons that I learned in the Costa Rica product, that's the $500 one-time fee one, especially the one from Lawrence Tam, I hired an outsourcer. And just because while I was working my job, I didn't feel like I had enough time, but I had some extra money. So I hired somebody that could turn my videos into blog posts. And so my blog was ranking, and some people were seeing my videos. when Google changed their algorithms, all of a sudden I went from like 2,000 a day to 200, right? Like it just crashed on me. But what I saw were a lot of videos were taking my place. So I said, okay, gotta change when everything changes, right? This is my full-time income now. I gotta do something here. And so I switch over to videos. I start making videos. I was already making them, but I start making a lot more. I start focusing on ranking those in the search engines. And the thing that's really good about video is, you kind of get a celebrity status. You can kind of create a bit of an air of, all these people are watching me. I don't know who they are, and the only ones I talk to are the ones that take the next step, the ones that actually do get started. And so when I talk to them on the phone, like, hey, welcome to the team, some of them are like, oh my God, I've seen so many of your videos. This is crazy to finally talk to you.
They already know you, don't they? They get to know you, about you and whatever you're sharing, so they kind of build a connection through your video, right?
Yeah. That was something that I learned a long time ago, that you want to create the feeling that people know you, like you, and trust you. And so when I make my videos, people feel like they like me, or they feel like they know me, and they like me, and they trust me, because I've helped them, right? And when I come from the position of actually trying to help people, right, then not just trying to sell a product or get somebody to buy something, but actually help them, then they can feel that. And so when all of my videos are doing that, maybe they watch the first one and they're not really, they keep going, and I post a new one and they watch that one, or they're on my email list and I share an awesome hangout that I'm doing with a princess, and then they start to feel like, wow, this guy is awesome. I want to do what I can to get around him. So that's what I like about video. Like when I think of Oprah just has these millions and maybe millions and millions of viewers, people that all know her and they love her and they trust her, and she says, this is the book of the month, and they go out and they buy it, and it's the best-selling book right away. You're able to build that same type of rapport, that same type of responsiveness in your audience.
Excellent. That's absolutely wonderful. So in this day and age, I think video is best because I think it engages the viewer. They can watch you. They can actually, they can, just the way you are. I mean, some people just like you, the way you are. So it's really, really good. So excellent. So Brian, what has made you committed to Empower Network? I know a lot of members, when they join, they actually go through that shiny object syndrome because you're on many lists. I mean, many emails come to you that the next offer is out for you to increase your or overnight kind of system that you can kind of click and become a millionaire. What has kept you focused with Empower Network, and why have you focused on one opportunity only?
Yeah, well, it's because Empower Network has kind of stretched me, right? They stretched me and made me grow more than anything else has ever done that. And the longer I stay in this community, the better and better I get, right? The better and better, how I become the best version of myself, because I'm plugged into this system. That was actually something that I didn't like when I had a job for a while. I didn't realize it until looking back later, but at the time, it's like, those years kind of, they kind of sucked because I wasn't growing. I wasn't really learning. I was just here doing the same thing, kind of grinding away, not really stretching myself, not stepping outside of my comfort zone, not giving me any opportunity for real growth as a person. And I was watching a TED Talk the other day about that type of thing, and that money isn't really the sole motivation. As soon as you get past just rudimentary skill, people need more than money to motivate them to go. And one of those things is complete autonomy and being able to have decisions over your own life and being able to grow. And so that was something that I absolutely loved about Empower Network, that I continue to learn things that, topics that I never knew existed. I had never heard of things like NLP or things like the stuff that they teach in the master's course, the stuff that they teach at the events, getting around these people has really opened my eyes up to a whole new world that I never, not only just being able to travel around the world and kind of live a crazy lifestyle that I never had before, but the knowledge that I gained. And so really what kept me around the most was a combination of that and the fact that, they helped me make some decisions that I had never, I never would have made without. They helped me get all in, right? And that was something that was real struggle for me. I struggled hard to do that, and it was absolutely worth it. It's paid off, hundredfold, right? So it's not just it's not just one specific thing but it's the overall feel that I get by becoming a part of this community. By being a part of this community, the way that I go, whenever I go to these events, I mean, you've been to several of them now, it's just so magical. Right?
That's right, absolutely.
Every single time, I don't know, seeing all the same people that I had seen 3 months ago, and then some of the people that I had, chosen to spend some extra time with in the middle, because some other entrepreneurs that have used this vehicle to get free. It's been really, really cool. So constantly learning, constantly growing. The fact that they keep doing things to make this easier and better for new people to get started right away, it makes me feel good about what I'm doing.
Absolutely fabulous. Now, guys, you're listening to Brian Couch from Empower Network. He's a 5-figure earner here. If at any point, guys, you can relate to what we're saying. If there's any kind of suffering that you're feeling right now, the 9-to-5 grind, it's not even 9 to 5. It's literally waking up very, very early, getting stuck in traffic, coming back home probably after 6, 7, and all that chunk of your time, you're giving away to someone else, making someone else's dream come true, So what we want you to do is actually, you're here because you want something, you're looking for something, you're looking for a way out. Perhaps you're even a parent, that maybe that you're going out to work, but at the expense of experiencing your children's time, and leaving them with nannies and all that. This is not the way life should be. So what we do here is give you life experiences of real people with different backgrounds and different situations that have actually made a strong decision to actually try something new and get out of their comfort zone and oppose society teachings totally. So that's what we're doing here. In case you just joined us in between, if we're talking to your heart, then that's excellent. You can join below. There's a link below. Just join us, join our community, and just kind of link arms so we can help you, not just with income, but to grow you as a person too. Because they say if you're the same person 1 year later, you're literally a dead person. You have to be growing. Self-development is so, so important. Brian, you've actually mentioned self-development, but you've highlighted community while you're talking. Is it important to have a good community of people? Because I know I've said a lot of times as well, people don't join systems, they join people. So how important is a community in Empower Network for you?
No, I mean, it's absolutely critical. And the reason I say that is because, this is something that I've learned here at Empower Network, but you are who, a lot of people say they're a product of their environment, right? And I was kind of in an environment where it was a somewhat toxic environment. It wasn't an incredibly empowering, uplifting environment. But by reading and listening and associating with people who have what I want to have, I've been able to create a new environment, just where, whether it's listening to the audios or reading my book or getting to those events and being around that community of other people that believed in me before I had fully believed in myself,
right.
That believed that, because I was human, that this was possible. The fact that I came from, this background or that background wasn't really necessary. My past doesn't have to equal my future. I can make a decision at any second to kind of change the course that I'm headed on. That was something those were ideas that were foreign to me. I'd never really known that. And by being a part of this community and locking arms with a lot of other people that are all heading in the same direction, that are all working on living their dream, whatever that may be, things became a lot easier, right? I had a support network, because I'm not always all fired up and excited to do things. Sometimes I have lull days where, I'm starting, where a little bit of doubt creeps in. Some of that little, I think Tony Rush calls it the monkey chatter, right? A little bit of the bad stuff kind of like gets back in your head and you start thinking like, well, I don't know, is this really something I should be doing? Maybe I should just go back and do this or that, and, give up on what I was going for here, right? And by having a community of people, not only that I could just bounce questions off of, or share problems that I had, because as an entrepreneur, you're gonna run into obstacles. After you get past them, you realize like, well, shit, that was nothing. I could do that again. And that was because that was a chance for you to grow. That was a chance for you to become stronger, right? Your entrepreneurial, weightlifting muscle. I kind of work out sometimes. And as an entrepreneur, these obstacles are like little challenges. If you have somebody that's spotting you all the way and doing everything for you, you're never going to get any stronger. But if they let you push and struggle just a bit and break down your muscles so they build back up and you become a lot stronger, you become a better, more more bulletproof entrepreneur.
That's absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. We've got a couple of questions in, and I will take a couple of questions in a minute. But Brian, what about like you know, I mean, you can probably measure your growth now, like what you were to what you are now. When you look around, when you talk to people, generally that are in jobs, what is the difference between their mindset and yours, and how important, leading on from that question, how important is it to make decisions and strong decisions to stick with?
Yeah, well, I mean, when I still go, it's kind of interesting because the longer I've been around this community and the longer I've been plugged into this system and learning, the larger the gap has grown.
Right.
And I can absolutely tell a huge difference from, you know, just the people that I was spending time with 2 years ago versus how what it is like now. You know, they talk about like a small raise that they got or this or that, and it's all within these small confines of this is what I know and this is all there is.
Right.
And for me, like when I come through and I tell them like, oh yeah, I got LASIK. I'm like, what? Oh, you got LASIK eye surgery? Like, yeah, it was kind of like on a whim. I ran out of contacts and I kept hearing about how awesome it was. And, you know, I had a big week, so I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to go get some LASIK. And so I got the eye surgery done. Actually, when I was in Charlotte, I was wearing those sunglasses because I had just got that done. But that was something that, you know, none of my friends could really relate to. And they're like, oh, man, that's pretty nuts. You know, how much was that? I was like, oh, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. You know, the price of it has really gone down. And so then we were hanging out, and, you know, they're drinking beer and watching football and staying, you know, kind of in the same routine over and over and over again. And they see pictures of me, like I was up in Canada for 7 days, you know, right after I left Charlotte. And this is not, I don't know, it's different. Like when they're like, I don't have this kind of vacation time.
Yeah, that's right. Do they find it unusual that you can just get up and go without giving notice, without planning? You know, just kind of like if you want to go to Canada tomorrow or in the next week, you can literally just book your flight and go. I mean, do they find that kind of weird?
Yeah. I mean, well, one of my friends was kind of envious a little bit of what was going on, and so he took off some vacation time, and he's like, "Hey, let's go to we're going to go to Malibu." And so he's planning this trip for us to go to Malibu here at the end of the month, and then my other buddy wants to go to Mexico. We're going to go to Puerto Vallarta, something like that. I don't even remember. But he's like, "You want to come?" Yeah, man, let's do it. You know, I'd love to spend time, you know, traveling around with other people and doing other fun stuff. And you know, this was never a life that I thought was something that, you know, I could just get a hold of and I could actually craft. I didn't realize that I could, you know, engineer my own lifestyle.
Exactly. Is it freedom? Are you experiencing freedom at its peak?
Well, I wouldn't say at my peak. There's always room for more growth, and there always will be. But this is absolutely I mean, every single month is a new level of freedom that I had never experienced before. Being able to make new powerful decisions that, you know, weren't really in the realm of what was possible. Being able to go to, you know, any restaurant that I want and just, you know, not even really pay attention to what prices are. That's kind of cool. Like, I'm still not frivolous and extravagant or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, when I would go to a place that, you know, used to be like, okay, that was a really, really nice one, like that's going to be kind of expensive, and to not really think about it is it's freeing, right? To not let that just kind of bog down on your mind, but be able to make decisions based on what I want, not based on, you know, time or income restrictions.
Excellent point. Well, guys, I'm going to take one question for you, Brian. It's kind of it's a very important question, actually. It's by Julia. Thank you, Julia, for tuning in from Sheffield. She's saying, what book do you read, Brian, to help me kind of get started with the right mindset? That's a very good question.
Yeah, I was actually... well, actually, I was about to start on this one because I had read Bob Proctor's other book, Think and Grow Rich.
Bob Proctor, yeah, he's brilliant.
He really is. He came by Dallas, and I went to an event there with him. But that's the one that I'm starting next. You Were Born Rich. Before that, I was reading Think and Grow Rich.
Right, Think and Grow Rich, and You're Born Rich. There you go, Julia. And also, how much time do you dedicate to your business a day?
I just realized I said that wrong. Science of Getting Rich is what I was reading. I was reading Science of Getting Rich. Now I'm reading You Were Born Rich. Think and Grow Rich is a different book by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, right, that's
also excellent. But how much time do I devote? I don't know. It seems kind of. I mean, I definitely always try to put in at least 2 hours. right? I always put in. I have a bit of a ritual that I get done all the time, and then sometimes, like right now, if I could show my screen, I'd share with you. But I got tons of like one of the things that is kind of a downside, and I thought that this would be a really, really good thing. But when I got started with my videos, I would tell people, I've got my link to Facebook below, and you see my Facebook?
All right. Okay. Yes, we can see.
Yeah,
it.
I got these extra 28 messages here that I haven't even really, well, this one's you, but other people kind of coming in and asking me a bunch of questions, and so sometimes like these things take some time to get back to and to respond to, and I'll share that with the people who in the back members area, what I did to make that possible, to where there's constantly people reaching out to me, because that all comes from my YouTube strategy, right? But for how much time I spend a day, about at least 2 hours, and then if I, sometimes I'll take a full day off, but other times I'll feel inspired to work a lot, and maybe I might even get 10 hours in. It really just depends on, I like to work from inspiration and motivation, not from, I've got, as soon as I start putting boundaries and constraints, it starts to feel more like a job and less like something that I want to do, and then the content that I produce comes out less inspired and less excited, and and I like what I'm doing less.
Right, excellent, excellent. That's a really good point as well, Brian, because I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's got different skills. They've got different abilities and talents. So I think the Empower Network products help you build a lot of clarity, what you want, and also what you're good at. There's loads of kind of strategies, especially in the 15K formula, that people can actually grasp according to what they are like and what they enjoy. So that's a very good kind of product to work out. So you don't feel like you're working, you're actually enjoying your time. It's actually doing something that you love.
But let me answer that question in possibly a more powerful way. Back when I was working 50 hours a week, how I spent my time. How I spent my time back when I was working then, I had a lot less free time. Obviously, I had a lot less time. I had a smaller window where I could decide how to use my time, and so it was more critical. And I didn't have as much of an opportunity to work purely from inspiration and motivation. I had to work because I was trying to get out of something, because I was trying to escape my situation. That's probably a little bit more something that you could relate to. But when I was doing that, I was listening to my Inner Circle audio. So in the morning, that was basically my self-development, working on my mind. Aaron Rashkin says, when you work harder on yourself than you do on your business, the money will come. And I took that to heart. I said, okay, I bought these audios. I decided to buy them. I'm plugging in. I'm listening to them every day. So I would listen to them on the way to work. And then while on my lunch break, I'd go and I grab some food, and I'm listening to some more Inner Circle audios, and I'm learning things that these 6- and 7-figure earners are teaching about how to leverage the internet to build a life of freedom. Right. And then when I get off of work, I had this long drive that, it was really only like 20 hours, but there's bad traffic here, so it would come out to like 45. And so while I was there, I probably don't have one lying around anymore, but I used to have just like a list of keywords that I had printed off.
Right.
Excuse me. And keywords are just words that people go to Google, or phrases that they go to Google and they type in that little search box.
Yes.
They're typing there and like, all right, cool. That's something that I'd like to answer. This keyword search implies a problem, and I'd like to solve that problem with a video. Put that video there so it's constantly solving someone's problem, helping them out, and a small percentage of them will want more. After I help them, they'll say, okay, well, what's next? I love that, Brian. That was very, very helpful. What do I do to get to the next step? And so I would do that with video. Well, I would actually, while I was driving home, I'd hold my phone out here and point it at my face, and switch arms when my arm gets tired. And I made videos in my car driving home from work, me talking about these keywords. And then, I'd get home and I'd plug in and I'd do some training. I'd watch like a video where I was actually learning something. I'd watch something in the 15K formula, or dig into the master's course of the Costa Rica, and that was constantly filling my mind with new things. Because a lot of people have questions like, what do I blog about? What do I make videos about? What is all my content about? And all of that comes from me plugging into the education and learning. And I'm just blown away by the quality of the information, that when I turn on a video camera or pull out my blog and write a blog post, the knowledge that comes from me sounds like an authority. I sound like an authority. I sound like an expert on the topic, because I dug into it so quickly. And that was actually a philosophy that I had learned a while back from David Wood, and actually really, really long time ago when I was in martial arts. they had me as a student, learn how to do the kick, right? I'd learn how to do the kick or learn how to do the move or the form, and after I was done learning it, they had me stand up and do it. And so now I just watched somebody do it, and I learned what to do. I'm like, all right, this step, this step, this step. I put it into my brain the way that was necessary to make it happen. And then I'd stand up and go through it, and I'd cement it. And while going through the action, I would learn it a little bit better. And also I had a mentor there that could say, hey, you're doing a good job on this and this, but let's, twist your hips a little bit more. Want to stand up a little bit straighter. They could course correct my action because I was taking action. A lot of people don't want to take action now. They want to wait a little bit, and they want to feel like they need to learn everything before they do anything. And I learned a lot more by doing than by learning. And one step even further, when I move up to the next belt, then they say, okay, now turn back and teach what you know. Teach, you're a yellow belt now. Teach the white belts how to get to where you are. Now that you've done it, teach what to do. And when I do the exact same thing, when I plug into the Empower Network system and I learn the stuff and I implement it and do it, and I take feedback from what's working and what's not working so I can course correct along the way, and then I turn back and teach what I learn, it makes me go from ignorant to expert in record time. I mean, I got my black belt in like, I think it was less than 2.5 years. It might be 1.5. I don't quite remember. It was a little foggy. It was a while back, but it was faster than anybody else had ever done it because of total immersion. Just like if you want to learn Spanish, go to a Spanish-speaking country and live there for a while. You'll learn it the fastest.
Right,
so total immersion. I was in it constantly. I was listening to those audios when I wasn't at work. I was listening to those audios in my lunch break. I was making the video on the way home when I could, and then I'd plug in for a bit and do a little bit of work and learning on my laptop, and then I'd go about and just be exhausted and whatever for the rest of the day, and go about my normal life because this is kind of still want to build a business while maintaining balance, but I kind of lost track where I was going with that. But the learn, do, teach philosophy is really what kept me going the quickest. So as for time spent, I squeezed it in where I could, and I got a little bit done every single day on a consistent basis.
Now, thank you so much for sharing this very, very important formula that we've been taught by Dave Wood. I mean, he just summarized it beautifully. So it's learn, do, and teach simultaneously, guys, right? Which is so, so powerful, because if you start today, for instance, and you activate your account by joining the link below, you'll get access to a blogging platform, and the first 8 videos that you'll watch, one of them will tell you to go and blog, right? Write your first blog post. Now you've done that, you've actually done the activity, you can actually teach that to someone new. So you literally, you can teach that straight away. You're in a position to do that because you've already learnt that. And then when you get into the position of teaching, you want to go back and learn more so you can teach more. So that cycle of starting something like that off is just absolutely amazing. You can actually master a skill very, very quickly and become authoritative in that area as well. So I love that. Thank you so much. Guys, we're coming to the end of the show. Brian, there's so much more I want to talk to you about, but the time has just kind of whizzed by. But if you can kind of just give us, if I can give one shout out, it's a wonderful colleague of mine, Connie, Mi Chan. Thank you so much, Connie. She said, fantastic interview. Princess and Brian, both of you inspire me. And it's very useful information and lucky to check in. So thank you very much for tuning in, Connie. We love you. But we are going to continue. We're going to end the show now. But for exclusive Inner Circle, you need to join the program and activate your account. And you'll be sent an email shortly to join another Hangout that's exclusive to Inner Circle people. So thank you so much for joining the show. Brian, is there any last kind of comments you would like to leave for the audience? Something about making decision, because I know some people like they're sort of on the fence, so I don't know if I should or not. Just a message for them, perhaps.
Yeah, well, one thing I could say is that money is attracted to speed. That when
Right.
when you, a lot of people will think and think and think and think, and they'll look at stuff and they'll kind of daddle about, whereas somebody that's going to be successful, they get started right away. They don't wait. They don't sit around it. When they make a decision to do something, they go out and do it. When they start a new deal, they make it happen immediately. When they see an offer in front of them that looks like something that they want to do, they take that action and they do it right away. And so what I would say is that, if you've got something here and you're still watching this after an hour and absolutely loving what we're doing, just click on the link right below here and just get started. Lock arms with us, and I guess I've got some awesome things to share in the next 15 minutes, right? For the people who do decide to get joined, right, Princess? One thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's absolutely. It's literally in the next 5 minutes, guys. We're going to start a new Hangout, so stay tuned and open up your email. I'm just going to send one out right now for the people that have actually joined. So 5 minutes, come back to a new Hangout. Thank you so much, guys, for the people that have come onto the show. You've done incredibly well. I mean, it's been an hour, and we've still got so many people still live. So thank you so much. Make a decision, guys. You know, take control of your destiny. Dream again. You know, so I can actually share your dream on the show. Get your results. Come on the show so I can share it with the world so you can inspire many, just like Brian Cooch has today. So thank you, Brian, for tuning in as well and being a guest of honor.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun. It's been fun. I feel like I'm gonna start my day off a little early and a little awesome today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for tuning in, and watch out for highlights for the next opt in, and you'll get emails regarding other shows that are coming up next week. We've got Mark Hoverson. I'm in the process of actually dealing with a show with him, and just waiting on the final decision. Bob Proctor as well. Hopefully we're having him on shortly as well. So stay tuned for banners and things like that. And be inspired. Go and dream again, guys. Wake up and dream again. You can do that. You can achieve your dreams. It's just a matter of a decision. Okay? Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Bye-bye.